Hey everyone. So this is according this is part of the question series that I am creating. So yeah, let's get started. So the first question is, what are different types of Salesforce editions? So Salesforce editions are basically determined on the basis of the size of the org or the business. So it's like there are four type of Salesforce editions. The first one is essentials. So essentials you can think of as only a few things which are very important that are needed, right? So yeah, so Essential Sandbox, as the name suggests, is designed for the small businesses. Then we have the professional, that is only for the small to mid-sized. Then we have enterprises, which are very large and complex businesses. But it also has the advanced tools and configurations. And also there is the unlimited edition, which is same as above, but it has more storage and then unlimited custom apps and premier customer support is also provided under the mobile apps, etc. So these are basically the four Salesforce editions which are provided by Salesforce so the customers can purchase on as per their requirement. Okay. Now the next question is, what are login hours and IP range? So both of these settings are profile level, right? You can configure them on the profiles. And if you are setting the login hours, that means that users cannot log in except for the hours that you have specified. Similarly, the login IP ranges, if you are setting up the login IP ranges, then users cannot log in outside the IP ranges, but only for the IP ranges that are specified and only for the login hours that are specified, only then they are able to log in. Okay. And the next question is, what are the standard objects? So basically what happens is, if you are not aware of the database or how the data is stored, then you can think of it as an example that the data is stored in a spreadsheet, and for example, there are candidates which who have actually applied for the job, right? So think of it that their data is being stored in in the spreadsheet, right? It's like every entity, okay, that has attributes is called an object. So here candidate is an object, and the all the columns, for example, the name, age, the qualification, okay, the certifications or the skills, etc., we can call them as columns, right? So columns are nothing but the fields of the object, and each of the row that represents a record. Okay, so Salesforce CRM, because it is a CRM and it knows how the business is run. So based on that understanding, it provides some already defined objects, which are known as the standard objects. So it knows that how the business is run and which objects will be needed already. So and most of the businesses require those objects, so that's why it gives you the predefined objects. Example: accounts, contacts, tasks, opportunities, leads, etc. Right now, what are custom objects? So custom objects are something which are not provided by Salesforce already, but the businesses do have a business use case where they need that object. So that's called a custom object, and it is identified by the underscore C. It is actually postfixed by that. Okay. Now, what is a production environment? So production environment is nothing but a client facing environment. You have the real time data and your actual users are logging into that, and all the businesses and every calculation that is being done on the real time, and that's an actual environment, so yeah, and there can be only one production environment. Now the next question is, what is the sandbox environment? So there can be multi sandboxes. A sandbox is nothing but if you want to configure tools and automations, then you want isolated environment, which is not impacting the real time data. So in that case, use the sandboxes. Sandboxes do contain some amount of data, but it does not impact the real time data. Okay, and any kind of upgrades or any enhancements that are first done in sandbox and then they are carried out in production. Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there are multiple sandboxes that are linked to a single production environment. And what are different types of sandboxes? Now, as we read about, like there can be multiple sandboxes. So, what are the type of sandboxes, and what are their features, and why do we have different sandboxes? So, basically there are multiple type of sandboxes. The first one is the developer sandbox. That is the simplest and the smallest sandbox used by the developers, for the development and the unit testing purpose. Okay, and then why do we have a developer? So the next is the developer pro. So developer pro has some amount of data sets that it can handle, and it is used for more development and the QA tasks as well as integration testing or user training. Then another type of sandbox is the partial copy. It do contain some amount of data which looks like the production data itself, but a some amount, not all the records are present. And then it is best used for integration testing, user acceptance, and the quality assurance. The next sandbox is a very large and complex sandbox. It is a full copy sandbox. We can say that it is a complete replica of production org, object records, attachments, and metadata. It also supports performance testing, load testing, and staging. And because it's the largest sandbox, it is not recommended just for development, but rather full scale testing and QA. And we can think of it as a staging environment, So yeah. And the next question is, how do we log into sandboxes? So yeah, to log into sandbox, there's a URL test.salesforce.com. You can use it in production. We use the login.salesforce.com. We again enter the credentials and we are able to log into production. Another way to log into sandboxes, you're logged into production, like you have to go to quick find search sandboxes, and you will see a number of sandboxes, and there you will see the login option in front of each of the sandbox name. So you can log in from there as well. And how do we deploy metadata from one sandbox to another? So standard, like as per the standard process, Salesforce provides the out of the box change set. So if you're creating a change set on the source org, it will be termed as an outbound change set, and when you are waiting for it to be deployed, like you when you're waiting for it to arrive in the target org, it will be termed inbound change set. Yeah. Other deployment tools, which are not standard, like, out of the like third party tools or like that, we have Copado, AutoRabbit, GearSet, Flossom, etc. And then you can also use the automated jobs like Ant or Jenkins. If someone asks like how do we explain the Salesforce or CRM data model, so you can think of it as a process that first you're running the campaigns, right? It could be your web forms, your lead forms, like anything like that, your email to lead, anything, like that. And then once you get the leads or the prospects, then you are like it will be called as generating the leads. It will be created manually or automations, and then you are assigning the leads to the sales reps on the basis of the territory, the region, or like that. You might have the lead assignment rules in place, or any automation is running behind the scenes. So once the alignment of the leads is done, then you follow up. Okay, so you follow on the leads. Hey, we created a record in our org. Are you still interested in this? And we are providing these and these benefits, like that. And then once you have the leads, and once leads are like, okay, we can go ahead with your this and this product. We are interested in this product. Then qualify the leads. Like you say that, hey, this is a marketing qualified lead or a sales qualified leads, and we are good to go with this lead. So you categorize it or you convert it. Okay, you convert it to into the god like leads, into account contacts and opportunities. And then you again talk to them or go with the sales process, and you close the deals. So that's what you call a sales for CRM data model. Okay. So yeah, that should be it. Like, say, stay tuned for more such questions or terminologies, and please feel free to let me know in case you have any questions, and we can discuss them. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. And stay tuned to my channel.